Hey everybody, this is Robert Hollis. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful, blessed day. And the title for today is How Do I Motivate People? How do I motivate people? So, we'll wait for some people to get on here to see if they are, and we'll go ahead and get started. I love this subject. It's one of those things where it's the most commonly asked question, especially with people that are building, I don't know, a business of any kind. So pretty cool. So let's get going. I see Melody. Hello, love and appreciate you, Melody. Bill, John, Dustin, Nicholas, Scott, Craig, Jenny. Hi, Jenny. And Jennifer, Mary. Mary, you just tried to call me. I'm doing a live. You must have pressed the wrong button. That's funny. Hi, Ilona. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Author. Nice to see you again. Thank you for contributing. I really appreciate you. Deb, Angel Acosta. You guys got to watch out for this guy, man. Going to go straight to the top of the comp plan. Victor, Daniel, nice to see you from South Africa. My lovely son. And Theodore, Brenda. Wow. Carrie, nice to have you on here. Wow, we have a lot of people on here. I don't know if I said Peter, so let's go ahead, Jessica. Let's go ahead and get started. How do I motivate people? Hi, Tina. Hi, Eric. Hi, what is that, Umbrella? Umbrella. That's a pretty name. Tasa. So here we go. So the first thing I want to tell you is a lot of people ask this question. So how do I motivate people? How do I motivate people? Now, the direct answer to that is you can't. And what people usually do is they try their very, very best when they bring people in and they want them to, do something. If you're going to get in, why don't you invite somebody? If you get in, these videos, golly, if my mentor did a video a day, all I would do is make sure I had more people in front of that video than anybody else. So, and all the people that wouldn't make it, I would make sure that they seen the replay. And, the way to stay motivated, one of the best sayings out there from Zig Ziglar. Zig Ziglar said that motivation is like taking a shower or a bath. I suggest that you do it daily. So motivation is something, again, if you're not excited, if there's, sometimes you get up in the morning and you're not excited because you have something visually, vision inspires success in others. Now, you visually have to be looking forward to something. And I always use this example because it's just amazing. But, they say that people put more plans and more thoughts into a 2-week vacation than they do the rest of their lives. And it's funny because we actually can stay motivated, when we say, okay, so guess what? Here's the 2 weeks or whatever the week we're going to get off. And here's where we're going to go. And when we go there, this is the, excursions that we're going to do. This is the places we're going to meet. Go to. And visit. And so what we do is we put this whole grandeur into our thoughts of the experiences that will take our breath away. So, you guys have all heard this over and over again. There's not a person on their deathbed, that can still have consciousness, that can still, think that went, wow, I wish I had a few more millions in the bank. If there's anything that I think that I would want, is I would want to make sure that there was enough money that I went to work to get, to make sure that my wife and my sons and my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren, they don't have to worry about anything. So when you start thinking about how much money it would take to take care of generations, that's what excites me. Another thing that excites me is the whole concept that I love helping other people change their lives on a financial basis. Usually when they get finances out of the way, Then they start working on more on their personal development. They will work more on figuring out who they are. Hi, Patty. Hi, Aaron. Great to have you on here. Billy, thanks for being on here. Let me see if I missed anybody. Jim, I don't know if I said Jim. There we go. Lisa, awesome. And so, you know, what people do is they get in and they try to motivate their people. And believe it or not, 35 years of doing this, and I've seen people put together contests. I've seen people do giveaways. I've seen people do all kinds of things to try to mentally or physically motivate people. And here's the deal. Unless they learn to actually have a vision pulls you. It doesn't, you don't have to push vision. And so when people are not doing it, it's like, here's the whole thing. Everybody wants to know how. Tell me, Robert, how to do this. Tell me what script. Tell me where to contact the people. Tell me where to, and all this stuff is there because we're constantly procrastinating. We're procrastinating on going into action because we feel like we don't have what we need. When you finally make the thought in your head that I have everything that I need. I have everything that I need. And if I mirror and match people that have already helped other people succeed in life, then guess what? Then I'll figure it out. So the whole concept is you claim something into a vision that you're going to have created for you and your family. Then step 2, you go into action and you figure it out. Everyone, again, understand this and listen closely. If only 5% of the people in the United States makes over 200 grand, that means that 95% of the people do not have this figured out. They do not have this figured out. They think they got to learn everything and they got to get all this information and read all these books and hire and buy all these courses and hire all these, coaches and whatever. They feel like they never ever have enough. They never have enough to go into action. Hi, Dr. Dana. Nice to see you. Eric, Mary. Again, my wife. Don't want to miss anyone, Eric. So here's what people do. They do get motivated or they wouldn't have anybody in their team. So they do get motivated. Sometimes it's just one person. And then they get in and they want to motivate that person. When what you're doing is you're not spending time with them one-on-one. And I'm really excited because this weekend we get to teach this at Mastermind in Las Vegas for MDC. And so what you got to do is you got to personally sit down with that person or sit face-to-face on video or Zoom. And what you got to do is you got to find out emotionally what a person wants in their life. And when you get them attached to that emotional, it's called a significant emotional event. That's why we remember things. That's why people sit around and talk about the glory days, there's even a song, glory days, right? And what is that? I forget who sings that. Honey, help me. Bruce Springsteen. But we talk about the glory days. I was talking to a huge leader in network marketing yesterday, and it was just so funny that, I said, isn't it hilarious that a lot of people talk about, hey, back in this year and back in this month, this was a record month for me, or, glory days, remember in high school, you know what I mean, where, we were sports, or I was a cheerleader, it's like everyone talks about things in the past. They don't talk about what they're going to do, right? So, step 1, the only way you can motivate people in your company. I just recently watched a couple of videos on this. Jen has been doing incredible leadership. So, I have that on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Robert Hollis. And, when you're a leader, listen closely, you only can motivate people by leading by example. Leading by example. And so, if there's people in your group not doing anything and you're out there finding new motivated people. And how do I find motivated people? I very simply ask them to do a task, a very, very, very simple task. And then whenever I connect with them, I ask them where they are in that task. In fact, some tasks, I learned this from my mentor, some tasks that I give people, I'll just very simply say, hey, listen, you know, what I would do if I were you, especially if you don't believe in yourself, you don't love yourself, you don't know how to do gratitude, you don't know how to put your life every morning in a place and a mindset of being excited about the future, then I suggest that you read The Greatest Miracle in the World by Og Mandino. And when you get done reading that book, send me a message and tell me what you thought about it. And when they do that, which, by the way, I've been doing this for 35 years, the amount of people that do that little task, you know, it's so sad. It is super sad. It's like I almost choked up there on how many people need and want to change their life. They really, really want the best things in life for them and their family, but yet you give them a task and they won't complete it. They just won't complete it. And so when they reach out, I say, well, listen, you know, tell me what impacted you the most in the book. And then after they say that, I say, okay, so what did it tell you to do in the book? And again, very, very small percentage of people get the book and read it. Very few people will follow instructions. I forget, I was talking to my grandson, Ryder, yesterday, and my granddaughter, Olive. And Ryder was wearing a shirt that had Grogu. Did I say? You know, Baby Yoda, right? Grogu, I believe. And so, you know, the kid had a shirt, and I was telling him about a kid I seen when I was watching NASCAR. And it showed Grogu on the shirt, and then above there it says, does not listen, and on the bottom, will not follow instructions. And it was so funny because Clint Boyer, I know you guys don't know this name, actually got that shirt for Jeff Gordon. And he goes, really? And Jeff Gordon goes, maybe we should talk to the producer and director and really see who doesn't follow directions, right? But when you see people that don't have enough belief in themselves or enough motivation to read a book and follow instructions, then guess what? I just remind them, but I'm not mean. I'm not mean at all. So, Nicholas can reach out to me and say, hey, Robert, I got a question. And I can ask him, well, what day are you on? And he comes back and goes, what are you talking about? What day am I on? What day are you on when you followed the instructions in, the world's greatest miracle? I don't know what you're talking about. Do you guys get how crazy is it that people can read a book in this day and age and they won't take time to reread it? They won't study it. They don't retain it. They don't execute on anything in the book. So what I do is I just know that everybody's on their own journey. And so how I treat people is I ask them to do a simple step. And then when they don't do it, I just keep loving up on them. And honestly, I just pray that one day they say, enough is enough. Enough is enough. I'm not living my life like this anymore. So a lot of you heard, really, honestly, there was 4 or 5 magic things that happened to me as far as my success. One is 9 months of being so incredibly humbled where I lost my identity and I'm not thinking of good things of why I need to be on this planet. I hate that people have to get that low in life to finally say, I don't know anything. I'm relearning. I'm unlearning what I know. And I'm going to find a mentor and I'm going to follow instructions. I don't know how bad it's got to get. I wish people didn't have to go through a tragedy to get in that mindset, but some people do. Some people do. So not only 9 months and having a lot of things in my life that made me the lowest place I've ever been, that when I met my mentor and he said, do this and this, that is all I was interested in doing. I finally surrendered. I surrendered everything, and I decided that I was going to follow instructions. And I even told my mentor, I'm going to do exactly what you tell me to do. And if it doesn't work, I'm going to hunt you down and kick your ass. But here's the important thing. I did it. I did the little mundane things like, learning to connect with a stranger. Learning to connect and talk to a stranger. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a people business. And if you want to be big like Apple and Google and Amazon and Facebook and Microsoft, guess what all those companies that are the most successful companies in the world have in common? Hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of employees. And some of you go, no, I don't need to be a $2 trillion business. But I agree. It would be cool. Wouldn't it be great if? But I know independent distributors like me that have 3 billion in volume in their group a year. Oh my God. There's still some people out there that, don't think they can do that. So to motivate people, here's a different spin. First, you got to learn to motivate yourself. You got to be the example that people look at. So when you're trying to motivate your people, just very simply find a new person, work with that individual, get them to rank up, continue to work with them to get them to the next rank, the next rank, the next rank. So people turn around and look at you and go, my God, Mary, where'd that new 1K come from? Where'd that new 5K come from? Where'd that new 10K come from? And then they'll look at you and they'll go, well, wait a minute, how are you doing that? And then you tell them the same thing that made you successful before. And so no one wants to hear this. I get that. Me, I wanted to hear this. When someone told me that 90% of being successful, happy, fulfilled was mindset, I went, wow. I agree. The words that come out of my mouth are not good words. Like, I can't. You don't know how awful my life is. Victim, 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 victim. I can't. I'm not good at. That is hard for me to figure it out. And then I use incredible crazy words out of my mouth. I'm really, really confused. I'm overwhelmed. I have unbelievable amount of anxiety. I'm scared. If you watched yourself and seen the words that you said to yourself. Now, here's the funny thing. My mentor talking to me could tell that I had stinking thinking. And a lot of people try to be successful in life, but they don't want to work on the mindset, creating a vision, learning to, on a daily basis, immerse themselves in that vision, to get emotionally attached to the experiences that they're having in the next future. Say, they won't. So since they won't focus on the new story they need to create in their future, then they always talk about their present, which is really a lot of the things that they did in the past that keeps continually getting the same result. And so I can't tell you how many people I know that watch this video live and then also will watch this replay, and they don't understand that if they don't input, garbage in, garbage out, if they won't on a daily basis continue to do something to reprogram their mind, to change the words out of their mouth, to change the story of what their life is going to be. You can't help them. You can't help them. And I'll leave you with this saying, because it was an incredible story that I heard from Les Brown. And Les Brown, when he said this story, man, this is a guy that within a few words can just almost like rip your heart out of your chest. And he said, he told everybody, listen, I caught cancer and it was really, really bad. And they said that my chances of living was really low. And he said, so I had a lot of friends, and I reached out to all of them. And they told me that there was this center that I needed to go to in San Diego. And he says, so I go to that center to actually help myself. And I talked to a person, that is the therapist. And she said to me, listen, Les, what is uneasy to you? Because see, there's ease, which is peace in our lives. And then there's non-ease, which is dis-ease. So what's stressing you out? What's making you unhappy? What's making you frustrated? What's making you upset? And Les Brown, being a motivational speaker, sort of laughed. And he goes, apparently you don't know who I am. And she said, yeah, I do. I know that you're a patient at this clinic and you're doing everything you can not to die. And so he said, again, what is the thing that you feel is bothering you? And he says, I get messages almost daily, a lot of messages daily about how some of my speeches and my books and the things that I've done, the live trainings, have impacted and changed people's lives forever. But, see, don't focus on all that positive stuff that people are saying. And he said, but, which means, before that, everything is like null and void. And he says, I have people that are really, really close to me, like family members, and people that I love that are really, really close to me. And they just won't listen to me. I could help them change their whole entire life if they would just listen to me, if they would just follow instructions. And she got a smile on her face. And he goes, what are you smiling about? And she says, so you're uneasy about the people that won't participate in their own rescue. What? You're trying to help certain individuals, and because they won't grab the lifeline, they won't participate in their own rescue. They're stuck in a sand pit. You're throwing them a rope and they won't even grab on the rope. You try to pull them out and they go, my arms are too weak and my hands won't hang on the rope. Oh, woe is me. And Les Brown went, oh my God. Because we all focus on what we want to. Our mind is similar to looking through a scope. You know what I mean? To a telescope. If you're looking at a telescope and you're looking one direction and you say, I can't find the Milky Way, and people go, well, the reason you can't find the Milky Way is because it's over here. And you go, no. I talked to this guru. I paid some money for his courses. I'm focused over here. It's all about coming up with the script and then seeing how much I can copy and paste a bunch of strangers without building connection. How is that working for you? How's that working for you? Well, it's not. Then stop it. Work on the think tank, and then that will change. You'll now be looking for motivated people. Me, if people stutter, I just say to them, hey, this is not for you. Yeah, I was wondering if you could do me a huge favor. Give me permission to send you a link and check it out. Once you do, I know you're going to know that some people we can help. What is that? What is that? Never mind. Thanks anyway. Gotta go. I've told a lot of people, you should build a social media page on Facebook. I had some people, I don't use computers. I'm not getting on social media. I don't like using phones. Okay, okay. Hey, listen, if I were you, I would get this book. In fact, I think if you find it on certain times on Amazon, you can even download, a copy for free. Or if you become a free member on Audible, you know what I mean? It's like, you could get it for free. I don't believe in that personal development crap. Why would you guys? Again, I keep going on to this, but I always think about a little task. Let's do a little task. Let's say that you need to scrape and paint your house. You need to paint and scrape your house. One, it might be not motivating for you. Okay, I guess I got to get up and start scraping. I need to go to Lowe's or Home Depot, and I got to get some supplies to scrape, some sanding, and you keep putting it off. You just keep putting it off. Well, then let's say that you do start, but you see it's going to take you a while. So you reach out to a bunch of family and friends and said, hey, I was wondering if you'd be interested in coming over and helping me. Oh yeah, anything. You can count on me. And then they don't show. And you go, oh, okay, so what I'll do is, man, how am I going to get this painted? And you go on Google and you put professional painters, house painters close to me. Sometimes you can send a message to 3 or 4 of them. And they won't call you back. That's what I want. An unmotivated person that won't get back to me. So you could give up. My wife and I, we have a beautiful piece of property in Montana, and it's got 18 sprinkler zones, 3 acres of grass. And for years, I would call out when we're staying in California. I'd reach out to people. They'd come out, I don't want to do this. I'm going like, why in the hell did you put an ad in the paper? Why in the hell did you put yourself off? Well, your property's too big. It's like too much work for me. And so I finally found somebody. And when I found them, they called me back immediately. They came out and looked at the property. And they go, we'll do it. We'll start today. And I'm like, really? And me and my wife watch these 3 or 4 trucks show up. 4 guys get out of it. And they go to work. So just like the painting of the house, you get someone that does and says, hey, we just happen to have an open in our deal. We'll start on that tomorrow. And when you find motivated people that are excited about what they do, and here's really the most important. They seem to have fun doing it, and they take pride in the work. Those are the kind of people that already have a clear vision why they're doing it. So why wouldn't you want to, and people are on here going, well, I can't afford that. You can't afford not to. Your goal is to get involved in a business and learn from someone like myself and follow directions and make the income so you can employ people. You need to employ people that wash your cars, employ people that can clean your house, employ people that can do the yard. All the stuff that you don't want to do, there's people that will do it better than you. They'll do it better than you, and they'll take pride in doing it. And they have skinny kids. But find motivated people. Become motivated yourself. So I hope that helped you. So anyway, love and appreciate you. Do me a huge personal favor. I always get to see who's motivated, right? And I go, hey, do me a huge favor and share this. Share this. You know what I mean? And then I get to go to the post 24 hours later and click on shares and see the 3 people that did it. Thank you, the 3 people. Other people are like, oh, I'm too busy. I can't share it. What if Robert steals my people? What if I got a lot of other negative crap in my head that's stopping me from succeeding? What if I'm always in a scarcity mentality? I would love people to like, comment, heart up, and share my message, but I'm not going to share yours. Ha ha ha. Man, whole different level of ignorance. Okay, my wife's saying, calm down, calm down. Okay, all right. I love and appreciate you. Thank you, Natalie, Mary, Lisa, Nicholas. She keeps me on track. I get frustrated with people as well, unmotivated people. So Kai, thank you very much. I'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place. And for those of you, I'm getting excited to see you at the Mastermind in Las Vegas. Hi, Dustin. So take care. Love you. If no one's giving you permission to succeed in life, let me be the first. Bye for now.